President Biden and former President Trump faced off across the debate stage in Atlanta last night.
They are two of the oldest candidates to ever debate, and they covered a lot of ground. Eric Rung is in the newsroom with a recap. Eric.
Well, good morning. This was the earliest a presidential debate has ever taken place, and it was at President Biden's request, and their differences were put on full display, for better or for worse.
He didn't do much at all. By the time he left, things were in chaos. Literally chaos. So we're working to bring down the price around the kitchen table.
He has not done a good job. He's done a poor job, and inflation's killing our country. It is absolutely killing us.
There was also plenty of debate on the State of the Union.
Between weaponization of his election, trying to go after his political opponent, all of the things he's done, we've become like a third world nation, and it's a shame.
He had the largest national debt of any president in a four-year period, number one. Number two, that $2 trillion tax cut benefited the very wealthy.
Age is also a concern for voters. The two men running in this rematch are the oldest men ever to run for the office. Both men meandered and rambled, and Biden at times appearing to lose his train of thought altogether.
With the COVID, with dealing with everything we have to do with, look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
Well, he's right. He did beat Medicare. He beat it to death.
There were other moments that Trump seemed to capitalize on, including a question on immigration, which Trump blames Biden's policies for the crisis at the border.
There are 40% fewer people coming across the border illegally. That's better than when he left office. And I'm going to continue to move until we get the total ban on the total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more Border Patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either.
On the issue of abortion, Trump said he would not look to regulate the abortion pill, and he was also proud of his role in placing justices on the Supreme Court that overturned Roe v. Wade.
What happened is we brought it back to the states, and the country is now coming together on this issue. It's been a great thing.
Thank you. President Biden?
It's been a terrible thing, what you've done.
On foreign policy, Trump told the nation Putin wouldn't have invaded Ukraine and Hamas wouldn't have attacked Israel if he were president. He said Biden was driving us into World War III. Biden pushed back, saying Trump would abandon its NATO allies and let Putin do whatever he wants in Europe. There were plenty of personal attacks as well.
The only person on this stage is a convicted felon is the man I'm looking at right now.
He could be a convicted felon as soon as he gets out of office. Joe could be a convicted felon with all of the things that he's done.
What are you talking about? You have the morals of an alley cat.
I didn't have sex with a porn star.
Now, Trump was found guilty of falsifying business records after cutting a check to adult film actress Stormy Daniels. The two men will have one more debate before the election. That is set for September. We're live in the newsroom. I'm Eric Rung, WGN News.
Thank you, Eric, and joining us now with the